welcome back to our channel. Today we have a very interesting video. We are doing a 3-day water fast. Quick disclaimer before we begin, it's important to consult with your provider because they know you and your body before considering this option. So what is a 3-day water fast? It's basically where an individual consumes just water for 3 days straight, no food, and this can include electrolytes in your water and even supplements or certain medications you're on. Even though it can offer several benefits, it's important to note that fasting should be approached with caution and ideally, like I said, under the guidance of your medical provider, especially for individuals with underlying health conditions and who are on medication. So let's go over some potential benefits for a 3-day water fast. So going into day 1, that was yesterday, Greg and we did a small little vlog of how we were feeling, our weight, etc. But let's go over what's basically happening in day 1. Within the 8 to 12 mark, we're gonna have glycogen and glucose going down. Glycogen is a stored form of glucose. It's made up of many connected glucose molecules. Glucose, which you all should know is sugar, is your body's main source of energy. It comes from carbohydrates, such as breads, rice, and in certain foods and fluids you consume. Glucagon increases, which is a hormone that's created in the pancreas, helps regulate your blood glucose, aka your sugar levels. Glucagon increases your blood sugar levels, where insulin decreases your blood sugar levels. Insulin helps your body turn food into energy and manages your blood sugar levels. If you have diabetes, your body can't make enough insulin or can't use it properly. First day, you have increased cortisol and increased adrenaline as well. So cortisol is increased when you're under a lot of stress and pressure. So I was perfectly fine, but I think Greg had very much increased cortisol. Lastly is, of course, that your hunger is going to increase. So the night before, our last meal was at 11 p.m. It was a burger, which we wanted to try out a different type of food before we went in because we heard that peak week having a burger is good. However, the next morning, weight increased by 1 pound and Greg's increased, I believe, by 3 pounds. Like, oh shoot. But that's when I decided I wanted to do this fast. I had a couple of reasons, which I think I mentioned in a video. I've always wanted to do a fast. I wanted to cleanse out my gut, clean my brain. I wanted to just recharge, rejuvenate, and cleanse out everything that could harm my body. A big other reason is it replenishes your cells. It eats away your cancer cells. I'll get more into that for day 2. Now, another thing that happens 8 to 12 hours is that increase of ketones from your fat. Ketones in your blood or your urine can indicate that your body is burning fat instead of glucose for energy. Having ketones means that your body is using it as a backup energy source. So the thing is if you have type 1 diabetes, high ketones can be dangerous, which is why we don't recommend you doing the 3-day water fast. And this is called diabetes-related ketoacidosis. I had 24 ounces of water. Around 11:30 I had another 24 ounces. I added salt packets to both to make sure that I have some type of electrolytes in me. My energy was moderate, but I was feeling very sluggish and tired, which I believe is kind of normal in the morning, and I wanted to make sure I didn't have any caffeine. They say that you can have caffeine in tea during your 3-day water fast, but I really just wanted to keep it super clean, just water. I had a lot of energy once I got home because I knew I was gonna be home and I was gonna see Greg. But once I got home, Greg was very low energy. And we also have fluctuations of moods because we're on prep, so we're kind of used to that also. but for the most part, we're extremely positive, which is very rare during especially peak week. So what are the benefits of doing the 3-day water fast? It cleans the brain and resets your energy. It improves your immune function and repairs damaged cells, removes dysfunctional cells and pathogens. It reduces neuroinflammation, it increases autophagy, it decreases autoimmune diseases. As you know, I have alopecia, which is an autoimmune disease, and it benefits your gut flora and it increases DNA repair. However, you should consult your doctor when it comes to insulin dependence during your menstrual cycle, having hyperglycemia, and if you're on medications. Overall, from my perspective, day 1 wasn't too hard. I made sure I wasn't around any food, drank enough water. I kind of got in my head a little bit in the middle of work, thinking like, oh my gosh, what if I just faint from not having food? And then I remembered I've done intermittent fasting. I know that I'm healthy, I don't have any complications, that I'm not on any medication. So it's all about your mental. It's not really about being hungry because your body knows what to do. It's very smart. They say that your gut is your second brain. I've heard a little bit of gurgling in my stomach, but I was like, I am so into this. Like, I cannot wait till 30 days are over and I feel like I accomplished something. Greg is an adrenaline junkie, but I didn't realize that I was too, and I really like to challenge myself. I'm so happy I have Greg to do it with me because like he's just as crazy as me. And we really like to just like try out new things, challenge ourselves. Like, we have one life, might as well try out new and different things, and it's only 3 days. A lot of people do a month fast of just water. So I'm like, if they could do a month, I could definitely do 3 days. So after the 18 to 12 hours, we discussed that, and now 12 to 24 hours. What happens to your body then? You're gonna have a depletion of glycogen, you're gonna have gluconeogenesis happen, which is the process of making glucose or sugar from its own breakdown product or from the breakdown products of lipids, fats, or protein. Now this is the part that everyone wants to do this fast. It's the increase in autophagy. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but autophagy allows your body to break down and reuse old cell parts so your cells can operate more efficiently. It's a natural cleaning out process that begins when your cells are stressed or deprived of nutrients. What we're doing actually is we're inducing autophagy by fasting for a certain amount of time and deprives your body of nutrients, forcing it to repurpose those cells for function. Your autoimmunity also decreases. One of the functions of the immune system is to protect the body by invading microorganisms, such as viruses or bacteria, by producing antibodies or white blood cells. Since in this case you have decreased autoimmunity, fasting decreases inflammatory markers in autoimmune diseases and increases cellular repair because it's not busy digesting food. Instead, it's helping the body replenish itself. With decreasing your autoimmunity, a lot of this is due to food protein. A lot of things that we're eating is having inflammatory responses, which makes sense because a lot of my inflammation did decrease when I started eating more whole foods. The fact that we're on a fast will decrease the autoimmune process. Next, it will decrease neuroinflammation. Since our bodies are used to using glucose in the brain, it can cause some inflammatory processes. So when you switch your fuel from glucose to ketones, the brain starts to become a hybrid. This basically means we're decreasing our inflammation. It'll also increase hormones like HGH and BDNF. And if you have a ketone machine where it tricks your blood and checks the ketone levels, you can see that your ketones would be around 0.5 to 1, which in this case we didn't buy a machine. It's basically called a ketone meter. It's like a glucose test where you just prick your finger and you can get the blood, see the ketone levels. Day 2, we are going to see an increase still in brain-derived neurotropic factor and HGH. You're going to see an increase in autophagy, which this is where the real cleanup is going to happen. Start to break down tau proteins, amyloid proteins, Lewy bodies, alpha-synucleins, and glial cells. This is what's happening right now, day 2. These are related to post-traumatic stress, concussions, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, Lewy body dementia. There's another process called mitophagy. This is where it gets rid of inefficient mitochondria in our cells. Mitochondria produces energy, ATP. Also, insulin resistance starts to go down, so if you're pre-diabetic, insulin resistance will start to improve. And of course, it decreases fatty liver because you're using fat for fuel. 90 to 95% of our energy is going to come from ketones now, not glucose. And last but not least, we will have a decrease in hunger, which I wasn't really hungry yesterday, not feeling really hungry today. I just have a slight headache. And Greg just called me actually, and he said he's feeling great. And that's awesome because I'm happy he's at work. Work keeps you busy. More benefits that we just kind of discussed is it reduces inflammation, lowers your monocytes in your blood. So this can include arthritis, it could be heart disease, and cancer. It of course supports weight loss because you're in a calorie deficit. It lowers your risk of type 2 diabetes because it reduces the insulin resistance, which will lower blood sugar. It's gonna boost your metabolism and it'll process food more efficiently. And it's also anti-aging by replenishing your cells. It extends your life because there's less toll on your digestive system. It also boosts hormone production. So you're gonna have muscle growth, you're gonna have increased strength and body composition, which is great since it's right before our peak week. And lastly, there's gonna be some neuro enhancements. Your overall brain function will increase. It can prevent Alzheimer's, strokes, and Parkinson's. I'm sure my mom is right now watching this being like, which is basically, why is she doing this? Now you know, Mom. Last day, day 3, continued autophagy and clearance. There's going to be a reversal of real chronic disease. This is like chronic autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, a lot of issues with joint pain or hip pain, increased immune function where basically your white cells, I guess, will be rejuvenated and will function now better. And I could not believe this, but you have an increase in stem cells, which if you look up stem cells, it's like the new thing now. Stem cells basically help you heal. I've heard of a story of someone getting completely burned on their face, a burn victim, and they used stem cells and her skin was growing back. It was insane. So the goal of this 3-day fast is for metabolic flexibility. It's your way for your body to use both glucose and ketones. If you're eating every day, couple times a day, me and Greg eat 5 times a day, we are using insulin because we are never letting our sugar drop. So it's basically like a spike in sugar, spike in insulin, drop in sugar, drop in insulin. So the purpose of this is to actually even our blood sugar throughout the day instead of being fluctuated. Increase insulin, increase blood sugar, decrease insulin, decrease blood sugar. In this case, it'll be even keel. So it'll stabilize our blood sugar and our bodies will become hybrid. Once you are done with this whole fast process, you do not want to eat a crazy meal. Like you don't want to go to an Italian restaurant or a Mexican restaurant and just eat everything. You want to make sure you're eating a very small amount because your stomach has nothing in it and you want to make sure that you're replenishing it slowly. Definitely don't drink alcohol. We don't really drink alcohol, so that's not going to be a problem, but having a piece of fruit is good. A lot of people recommend bone broths, even a vegetable soup. Something very light, has some nutrients in it, but wouldn't make your stomach completely upset. This is day 2, and now we'll see day 3.
Well, guys, I broke my fast in the middle of last night. I just felt like I needed a little bit of banana, and I had half a banana, a couple grapes, and a little bit of sweet potato to break my fast. And I woke up, felt great. Went to the bathroom, and I weighed the least I've ever weighed. I weigh 171. So this 3-day fast killed it, absolutely killed it. and I can't wait to eat today. But right now, I'm going for my bike ride. Feeling it, want to get it in before work, so that's what I'm gonna go do. Get the bike ride cardio in now, and I'll get my workout in at work. See you guys out on the bike.